And it's time for the Hot Topic Buzz. The 2024 GOP presidential race is heating up. Former President Trump joined Maria exclusively on Sunday Morning Futures and discussed his thoughts on a potential 2024 running mate. Watch.
Is there anyone on that stage you see as potential running mate as your VP?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I think you have some good people on the stage, actually. I think you have some very talented people. I've been impressed by some of them. Some of them I'm very friendly with, actually. A number of them called me up, not to ask for permission, but sort of to ask for permission, to say they'd like to do it. A number of the people up there, I'm not going to embarrass them by saying who, but no, I think you have good people. I think you have good potential cabinet members, too, actually.
Who would that?
Well, I don't want to mention that. I think I can't.
Do you see yourself perhaps with the Senator Tim Scott?
I think he's a very good guy. We did opportunity zones together. It's never been talked about. It's one of the most successful economic development things ever done in this country. And Tim is very good. I mean, I could see Tim doing something with the administration, but he's right now campaigning, and I'm sure Tim and everybody else would say, I'm only interested in one. But Tim is a talented guy, and you have other very talented people.
All right, Krysia, this is interesting. Tim Scott, let's start there. Him as a potential running mate for.
I think he would be a strong running mate for former President Trump, and I think he's been very strategic not to directly combat him in any of his language, and that's really why a lot of the candidates are going to be taking that debate stage ultimately, because I think a lot of them are running for vice president at this point, because let's face it, the next go around, if Trump becomes president, they could potentially be the next president. Trump can't run again. That's why it's so important that whoever steps up at this moment, they're really set for the job. Trump also mentioned Vivek Ramaswamy as someone who could be a potential person in his cabinet, or maybe also a running mate. But yes, that VP pick is incredibly important.
Yeah, this came up at an event that Glenn Beck was at on Friday night, Kelly, and his prediction is it's going to be Vivek Ramaswamy. That's who the former president would pick if he gets the nomination.
Yeah, you know, I think it's interesting. I mean, obviously right now everyone is saying that they want the top job, right? But for me, it becomes who's going to appeal to independents for President Trump, because he has his base that's solid. And you also have to think about who is going to be, really dynamic against VP Kamala Harris on stage when, they're debating. And it really comes down to, who also does the Republican Party think is the next face? Right. Because whoever becomes the VP pick is going to be kind of set up if President Trump were to win to be the future.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, obviously we're jumping ahead here, Mike Lee, but at the end of the day, I mean, this comes down to what we're going to have next month on that debate stage. And, it was make or break over the weekend for these candidates to get their financial reporting in as far as fundraising. And Mike Pence didn't do very well as far as fundraising for the quarter. Chris Christie had small numbers, but he also had just announced. But Tim Scott looking strong from a financial perspective. Vivek Ramaswamy struggling a little bit. I mean, it does come down to money. Let's be clear. This is about how many millions of dollars. There's a bit of a hit piece on DeSantis, actually, on another network that's out this morning, saying that he's struggling now financially, and that President Trump is so far ahead that donors are scrambling right now to figure out what they want to do.
It's very much looking like we're weeks or months away from starting to refer to President Trump as the presumptive nominee. I mean, no one's ever been above 50% in the primary polling and lost. I think his nominee is going to be Kari Lake. I think she, came out of nowhere, very similar candidate. She's been very loyal throughout the entire time that she's been in the public life to Donald Trump after she left being on TV. She's been successful, very successful in the courts on a lot of her election lawsuits. It's not getting a lot of playtime.
I mean, I think it's pretty much over, though, for her in Arizona.
She's definitely not going to overturn that election, but she's had some tremendous wins. And, Arizona, Wisconsin, Georgia, those are the three those are the three states, 40,000 votes that separated the last election. I think she helps him deliver a lot of votes there, and a lot of moderate Republicans that wouldn't normally have voted for him.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, it's early. I say if it's a baseball game, I think we're pretty much at any one.
Yes,
correct me if I'm wrong,
early.
but, we got a long way to go.